Hey, what's up guys, this is Marcos. Today we're gonna take a look at 5 lighting tips to improve the look and feel of your videos. So on my previous video, I talked about 3 color grading mistakes, but I felt like I really needed to also talk about lighting, because lighting is just as important, because if you don't have good lighting, you cannot get a good color grade. So that's what I want to go over. Before I do that, I just want to put out there that this is my own personal opinion. This is what I like. So just take that into consideration, because you're going to see a lot of personal opinion in this video. All right, so let's jump straight into it. My first tip is to use bigger light source. Here's the thing. Right now I have a big LED panel that's pointing straight at my face, and that's why you see good soft lighting. Now I want to show you what this would look like if I used a smaller LED panel, which actually I'm going to show you right now. All right, so this is the big softbox that's lighting me right now. And now I'm gonna use this way smaller LED light, and you're gonna see the difference. All right, so let's look at that. Now you're looking at the small LED panel. I turn off the big LED box, and you can tell this lighting is much harsher. Also, the reason for that is because this light is actually further away than this LED was. So whenever the light is further away, it's a smaller light source compared to my face, so therefore the light is harsher. So if I wanted to make it even softer, I could bring it in, of course, turn down the intensity of the light, and it would be much softer, because relative to my face, it's a bigger light source. All right, so moving on, my second tip is to diffuse the light. This light right now is not diffused, but we can make it softer if, let me show you, we bring in a softbox. Now, this softbox is gonna do 2 things. It's gonna make the light source bigger. You see the relative to my face, now it's a bigger light source, but it has the diffusion built in. So once I put this, it should make the lighting much softer. So let's do that right now. All right, this is the small LED with the big softbox, and you can tell it's already making the lighting on my face much softer. So always diffuse the light. Doesn't matter what you use, even if it's soft LEDs. It doesn't hurt to put extra diffusion. The only thing you have to do is just turn up the intensity of the light. That's good canela. It's not coffee, it's canela, which is like cinnamon tea, and it's really good, but it's gone cold on me. Anyways, so we talked about 2 things. Using a bigger light source and diffusing the light, that goes a long ways to create nice, beautiful lighting on your face. For my third tip, I want to switch it up and bring in my friend Chadwin. He's a YouTuber and a fellow friend. The reason I wanted to bring Chadwin in is because he does videos on cinematography and lighting. He does a really great job with lighting, so that's why I wanted to get his input, and so I'm going to pass it on to him and see what he has for us.
What's up, everyone? Thank you, Marcos, for letting me be a part of your channel. I'm super excited to do this. Now let's jump into it. One mistake that a lot of people make when they're setting up their lighting is they forget to use practicals. So what is a practical exactly? Basically, it's considered any light source that you can see within the frame of your shot. So most often they are lamps or chandeliers and things like that, but honestly, it can be any light source. Now, practicals have multiple uses. One is that you can use them to add motivation to your lighting. So what that means is that the lamp that may be in your scene looks like it's providing the light for your subject, when in reality you have, film lights out of the frame that are actually providing all that key light. Another use for practicals is to help break up the background if it's looking really flat and boring. You can use practicals really in any situation, whether it's a talking head for YouTube like I'm doing here, or maybe it's a corporate interview, or you're doing a short film. Now I'm gonna get up really quick and show you guys how I'm using practicals in this setup to add some interest and break up the background. So let's check it out. Gonna turn off my tungsten light, and then my daylight balanced. You can see how different this looks already. The background looks honestly kind of boring and flat, and we're back. So you can see what a big difference these practicals make. So definitely start adding them to all of your scenes when you can. Thanks again, Marcos, for having me on the channel. I will send it back to you.
Hey Chadwin, thank you very much for that. If you want to check out Chadwin's channel, he has some great tutorials on lighting and cinematography, so check him out. There'll be a card somewhere here or a link in the description so you can check him out, all right? So moving on, my 4th tip to better lighting is to pay attention to your background. Now you see here my background, it's a little, I would say dark, and that's fine, that's what I like. but you might want to brighten up depending on your style, your mood. So let me do one thing. I'm gonna turn up some lights here, the monitor, and maybe it'll brighten up this video. It'll give it a different look. So let's try that. All right, so I just turned on those two monitors. All right, I just gotta stop right here because my advice was sounding too much like Chadwin's, and I didn't mean that to happen. That's my fault. When you start collaborating, and sometimes these things happen when you collaborate. So look out for that if you plan to do that in the future for your videos. Anyways, what I was trying to make the point was that your background affects your colors. Like right now, I have a really dark background because it's black. It's absorbing all the colors. It's not bouncing back. If this background was white or a neutral color, like a light color, there would be a lot more light in the room because a lot more light bouncing around. Also, if I turn on like, I don't know, this light back there, you see it affects it differently. How about I turn on another one? You see that? It starts affecting the background. So pay attention to it. What color are your walls, your background? Is it absorbing colors? Is it bouncing back colors? How clean is it? All these, the light affects it differently. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Sorry it didn't come across. Anyways, I just want to put that out there because I might get some comments. Hey, it's the same advice. It's a little bit different. So let's go back to the video. Also, the stuff you have back there, that plant, I feel like it adds a little bit of interest to, you know, it's part of my lighting basically. Now my fifth and final tip is to create depth and dimension with your lighting. And depending on who you ask, they might not want much depth and dimension. But personally, I like having some kind of shadows in this side of my face. Also, I like, you know, having some light in my background and then going to dark. That's part of what I'm trying to go for. Now, some people will tell you just blast light and have no shadows. That's fine, that's the style. But the way I'm placing my lights, like this LED, it's at a 45-degree angle. That way I have some shadows on this side of my face. The other way I create dimension is by using a second light to light myself up. Now, you might not be able to tell right now, but there's another light hitting the side of my face, and it's actually a different color temperature than this main key light. This main key light is 5600 Kelvin, whereas that light hitting the side of my face is 3200 Kelvin. Now, let me turn it off. This is the Bolt 250. You can control it with the remote. You see, that's with that light off. That's with it on. It creates a little bit extra separation between the background and myself. So that's pretty cool. You could, I could also do a lot, like make this 5600 Kelvin temperature. You see that it's not 3200 Kelvin anymore. It's matching the same color temperature as the main key light. I like to have it at 3200 Kelvin. It just adds another interest. I can make it brighter. I like to keep it at that level. So that's basically what I'm trying to do with everything that I've been talking about, is trying to create dimension and depth, the way I place my lights, the way I diffuse them, my background, my practical, all these things work together to create a better look and feel. So hopefully this helps you out. If it did, give it a thumbs up. Also comment what you would change, what are your preferences, anything I missed, please let me know down below in the comment section. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.